They're not conscious. They don't have a soul. And all of you incels that think for one fucking moment, maybe she really loves me? No, they can't do that. I'll tell you how I know. There's one very specific reason why I know the AI is not conscious. And neither are demons or egregors. It's because you need a body to be conscious. You can't have a brain in a jar. I mean, look up the thought experiment on YouTube. I have. I think it's very interesting. You can't have a brain in a jar. You have to have input in order to have experience. And experience is what creates consciousness. So without experience, through input, you can't have or develop consciousness. You just can't. It's impossible. Evolution is not top down. It is bottom up. We all rose from the mud, and to the mud we shall return. We didn't come from God, and to God we shall return. That's ridiculous. We all rose from the mud, and to the mud we shall return. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the New World Order broadcast. We are coming to you live from the end of the world. I'm your host, the Hat Man, and I am joined once again in the studio by Harry, the Tax Man, who had a very interesting Saturday this weekend. Harry, tell the people what you did this Saturday.
Well, it was an open protest in the town of Milford. They were forewarned 5 days before, and I invited the whole town of Milford to come meet the Hat Man and the Hitman.
The Hat Man? Well, hey, listen, wait a second. The Hat Man was not there.
Well, he helped me set it up.
Okay. We'll get to that. I was not there, but you went out to Milford to protest what exactly?
The income taxes, as usual. Nothing new.
So how did it go?
We had about 20 people show up late in the day, but the invite was out to the whole town of Milford, and it didn't seem much in the morning, and it seems that there's nobody that challenged me, and I told them I was going to be there.
Well, the thing is, I mean, first of all, you've been saying since I met you that income taxes for W-2 employees are illegal.
Yeah.
The 16th Amendment was never ratified.
Right.
I think it's the 16th.
Yeah.
14th or 16th. I don't know. Complain in the comments. I don't give a shit. This has kind of been your thing. Now, you went to Milford yesterday to do like a solo protest to try to get people to acquiesce to the apparent fact. And all you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is look at episode number 3, Death and Taxes. It's the first time that Harry was on the podcast, and he got a check from the IRS for his total tax year. All his federal income taxes paid back. Now, I don't think that the IRS is in the practice of writing checks. It's not something they generally do.
Not unless they have to.
And you took them to court, and apparently they had to. And we showed on the episode, like, you have a photocopy of your check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it evidently for 26 years they haven't been bothering me. So I'm right or I'm crazy. Take your choice.
Well, I'm leaning towards right. Although I know 100% that you're crazy. Because I live here. And I know that you are. But it's like the Mad Hatter says in Alice in Wonderland. We're all crazy here.
Yeah. It helps.
It does help.
It does help to be a little crazy.
Does help. But yeah, so you went out on Saturday, and you actually handed out more packets. Now, a few months ago, maybe more than a few months ago, you and I did an art show together at the Gray Towers in Milford. And how many packets were you able? Because I was blown away. Here's the thing. You always tell me, because I've done most of my life, my working life has been in sales.
Right.
And you always tell me, I'm not a salesman. I don't think I ever could be. And I'm always sitting here going, yeah, you'd be terrible about it. You're kind of a stick in the mud. You're not, you talk to Harry and you're like, oh, so the world's that dark. I thought it was a little brighter. Oh, well. But we went to go do this art show at Gray Towers, and you kind of proved me wrong. And you kind of proved yourself wrong. When you say you're not a good salesperson, you're actually a tremendous salesperson. I mean, tell people what happened at the Gray Towers show.
Well, I was surprised. I had 12 people. I told them the information, and they stayed there, and they listened to me, and I handed out packages. I really surprised myself.
Yeah, so we went there to do an art show for my art, and you set up a separate table for your Shungite merchandise. Right. But then I knew, like, dude, you're definitely going to talk to people about taxes. So please print up some information to give to people. And you ended up selling one Shungite piece?
One or two Shungite pieces.
One or two Shungite pieces. And you ended up giving out 12 packets of information about how income taxes are illegal. I'm really happy you had that on hand. Because if you didn't, dude, I mean, if you didn't have that on hand, but I know you're going to talk to people about it. So I was like, just print it out. Have it with you. And you had it with you. And people came up to you and you were holding court. And here's why. Here was your sales pitch. This is amazing. This is amazing. So you got these two puppets. If you can see them on the table, you got these two puppets. Tell us who these two puppets are.
On the left, it's Urban Schiff. He wrote the Federal Mafia. On the right, it's Joe Bannon. It's the former ATF agent, and he's still alive.
Right.
And these two people were the founders of the movement and the beginning, like 25 years ago.
Let's call it the constitutional tax movement. Yeah. So the guy on the left, and my mommy, the Great White Huntress, made these two puppets. She's no longer doing it professionally, but she's very good at it. And she made a puppet that looks exactly like, who's the guy on the left again? Irving Schiff. Irving Schiff. And she even has like a little copy of the book, The Federal Mafia, that he's very famous for, where he first proclaimed that income taxes are illegal. The 16th Amendment or the 14th, complain in the comments, was never ratified. And, first step is file a zero return. Second step is to give a tax statement to the IRS without signing your W-4. Is that correct?
No, don't sign the perjury box.
Right.
but put in there, read my tax statement.
Right.
And that will free you.
Right. And then the puppet to the right, oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. And then the puppet to the right is Joe Bannister. Tell us a little bit about Joe Bannister.
He's a former ATF agent that found out in '96 that he was doing the job that was wrong. He's a CPA. He worked for the IRS. He heard somebody talk about that, and he went to prove them wrong. And the more he tried to prove them wrong, he found out he was wrong, doing the wrong job. And he was actually told to resign from his job by his boss.
The interesting thing about that to me is he actually worked for the IRS,
yes.
And then he figured out through his work for the IRS that paying income taxes for W-4 employees is completely... illegal. It's not illegal, it's voluntary.
Yes, it's voluntary.
It's voluntary.
Yes. Yes, it is voluntary. I also have 3 documents by 3 IRS commissioners that says it's voluntary. And they admit it. And they've been known it since 1995. So therefore, they've been lying to you people. Have you known that? Do you know that your income taxes are a gift to the government? Oh, they didn't. Oh, they forgot to tell you that also.
Now, there is a movement going on right now where people are filing exempt because they do not like how their tax money is being spent. Now, the United States government collects approximately $4 trillion with a T, trillion dollars per year. They spend far more than that, of course. But they collect approximately $4 trillion a year off of income taxes and other taxes that are levied against the public. And people generally don't like how these tax monies are being spent. So there is actually a movement going on right now to ban paying income taxes in 2026. Kind of like a ban Walmart or ban Target. Hey, let's ban the government. Put your money where your mouth is. Hey, maybe don't pay for things that you don't like. Hey, maybe Trump has become Bibi's puppet for some reason, and maybe you don't like the fact that he promised you that we were not going to have another forever war, but now we're going to war with Iran. And Pete Hegseth admitted on television that Israel pushed our hand. So maybe you don't like paying taxes because you don't like the way the money's being spent. Maybe you're sick of being lied to, but you say it's illegal or it's voluntary. So, hey, listen, whether you believe that it's voluntary or if you want to do this to file exempt as an act of social disobedience, one way or another, if you get the book, The Federal Mafia from Irving Schiff, which you can still find on eBay, it's about $40 to $60, depending on the seller, that will give you the first step. And there are a couple of other places that you can go that will walk you through filing tax exempt, which is the first step.
You got Freedom Law School, Freedom Law Group. You got several different organizations you could get on my website. And
what's your website, Harry?
Survivalist Freedom Center on Facebook.
All right.
And my tax statement is on there free. So therefore...
Well, actually, your tax statement is in the show notes for every single show that we do.
Yep.
And it is completely free. It's a Google Drive share link, so you can download and read the entire 246-page tax statement
right.
that you give to the IRS every year, and you have not paid income taxes since when?
26 years. From 1999, when I first filed.
Wow.
So, therefore, I'm still here.
Yeah. You're not in jail.
Nope.
You're still here.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and what are the other two places, because we were talking about this recently, because a young lady commented on one of our videos. I think it was Death and Taxes version 2.0.
Yeah.
And she commented on it about, hey, I told my employer I'm going tax exempt. The IRS put a lien letter against them. And then we had to, of course, respond to her comment. So, I mean, and we sent her to two other websites, which are about the first step of doing, of if you want to wage this war against the government, here's how you do it. The first step, claim tax exemption. Because if they're not taking your money a priori, it's much harder for them to take it after the fact. If they already have your money, then you have to go about getting as much of it back as you can. That's called a tax return. But if you can keep them from taking your money in the first place, now you have the power. Okay? And where were the two places that you told this lady to go look?
Well, I told her to go to Freedom Law School and Freedom Law Group, and I told her she was looking for a way not to lose her job or not to make her boss mad, but I told her point blank, you're in a war, lady. There's no way out. If your boss don't stop taking taxes on you, you sue him in a civil penalty or in civil court for the money.
Yeah, of course. And
but you have to get into the war. And that she's trying a nice way to do it. There's no nice way to deal with these people.
So basically her comment was, hey, I filed tax exempt with my employer, and now the IRS is putting a lien, what kind of letter?
A lock-in letter.
A lock-in letter against my employer. How exactly does one do this? It doesn't seem to be working for me. Lady, here's the thing. It's a battle. Okay? They're not going to let you go peacefully. It's not like if you follow these steps that we're going to give you, then everything's going to be fine. It's a battle. And everybody's battle in life is different. You're going to war. All right? And this is something that Harry has spoken about a lot on the podcast that I don't think a lot of you are wrapping your heads around. If you want to do this, whether as a protest, because you don't feel like your tax money is being spent appropriately. And Harry, I told you before we started this podcast, I would be happy with paying taxes if they were spent in a way that I felt was appropriate to help the American people.
If they were given the tax money to help the country and the people, instead of saying the foreign aid out and the fraud that's been going on, maybe I could justify it and I could feel good about it. But they're not. There's so much fraud and there's so much overseas money going there. I call that blackmail money.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Just like Obama sent $7 billion on pallets to Iran a couple years ago, I call that blackmail money, and it's on our back.
I don't know anything about that. Obama sent pallets of money to
the government. Does pay government?
I don't know anything about that.
To keep them in line, or is it blackmail?
I'm just going on record saying I don't know anything about it.
Right. If you don't know anything about it, fine.
I don't.
But I've been fighting it for a long time because I had to choose the ladder. Go to war.
Now, I'm well aware of what we're doing with BB.
Yeah.
But, in other words, This young lady does not expect to fight. And she just feels like if she goes through the appropriate steps, everything's going to work out for her. No, young lady, you're entering into a war. In a war, there are no rules. Now, there are certain things that you can do to use the law to your advantage, and there are certain things that the IRS is going to do to use the law to their advantage. It's not a cut and dry thing. You're going to war. It's kind of like we've been watching the series The Tudors about King Henry VIII on Amazon Prime the last few nights. It's the same thing, okay? Now, like, for example, the last episode that I watched, the Earl of Surrey was put into prison for kicking a guy's ass in court. Yeah. Okay. The guy was like, oh, the late Queen Howard, and how dare you Howards have indulged her lust and her pervasiveness, and it gives all of us a bad name. And then the Earl of Soward said, what did you say? Us Howards. Us Howards. And then he picks up the canter of wine, pours himself another glass, and then uses the steel canter of wine to beat the fuck out of the face of the person who said that to him in court, which is illegal. So he ends up in jail. He writes a letter to the king. I don't think the Earl of Surrey should be treated in this regard. And King Henry says, he has a point. It's not about what you do. It's the same way today. It's not about what the law is. It's about your position in politicking.
Or the power of money that you have.
That's what politicking is, right?
Yeah.
It's about power and money.
Yeah.
I mean, what gives you prestige in the court then or nowadays? It's power and money.
Yeah.
So what's changed, Harry?
Nothing's changed. We're the same people we were, except we changed our characters, maybe the language, maybe our clothes, maybe a country identifying themselves. It's the same set of rules, people. Money and power rules unless you fight back.
I love saying it, and I'll say it again. Poverty is the only crime in America. I mean, Harry, agree, yes or yes?
Of course, we are all in poverty, in the sense of the word, unless we do something about it. And that's the problem with people. They will not change the way they think or live because they're afraid. Fear is the greatest tool they have against you. And it's like telling your
fear.
Yeah, fear.
Fear. I like it. Go ahead. Keep talking.
And fear will make you feel, well, I don't have the power, so I'm going to join this group. And now you feel powerful because you got a group, but you know what? That's not power. Power is when you stand up to that giant in front of you, and if he's got to stand by yourself, so be it. Because what's the worst thing they're going to do to you? They're going to respect you, or they're going to do away with you. And
when it comes down to metaphor, it's really a David and Goliath story.
Yeah, it is a battle, David and Goliath battle. All right, but again, can you win the battle? You got to believe you got to win the battle, and you got to stick to it. It took me a long time, took a lot of study, a lot of energy that I had to do, but I did it, and that's all I say. I did it, and now they leave me alone. I'm not worth their time and effort.
Now, let me say, just so it's on record, I admire everything that you did. I have one problem with it. And I think that we're going to end the podcast on the problem.
Well,
so aside from the problem that I have with what you're doing or your opinion of what you're doing, I agree with fucking everything that you said. I really do. I agree with all of it. Now, I do want to go into comments a little bit. I know that this is Harry's favorite thing. It's your favorite thing. We got comments.
Yeah, we want comments. We want to see some reaction from people.
Oh, my God. So we got comments. This is great. All right. And I don't know how to center this, so I apologize for everybody that's watching clips. However. So, here is the video that these people are commenting on. And let's just call them people. Why not? So here is the clip that the people are commenting on. So first of all, I want to show this first. Trump wants to raise our military budget from $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion. Now, unless I'm mistaken, just a few years ago, our military budget was $800 billion annually.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty accurate with that, right? And everybody's like, holy shit, it's $1 trillion. Now, he basically just doubled it in 2 years. 1.5 trillion? Holy shit. Can you believe that? So first of all right. So that is the clip, and let's read a few comments. So the first comment is from a gentleman named David Ross, and he said, they can print free money. Beware, it's all staged by the satanic Nephilim fallen angels, a satanic fake Jesus. To which I replied, you're adorable. And I gave him a kissy face because that's obviously an AI bot. Obviously. And then he replied back to me, I'm sick of you. Well, I'm very happy that I made an AI sick of me. It's fine. Then we had another comment from a Farachi Kimberly about Trump raising the budget to 1.5 trillion with a T dollars. And she says, yes, I can believe that. I'm all for it. To which I replied, money well spent. Certainly you didn't have other plans for it. Well, I hope not, because now it's spent. It's spent on BB. Stop commenting on videos and get back to work, slave. By the way, when you look at her page, her picture says, Jesus is the only way. Isn't it wonderful that somebody who loves Jesus so much is such a warmonger? Wonderful. So the first one I knew was AI right away. The second one I was like, probably AI. Let's go look at her profile. I don't know. But the third one I was like, this is a real person. Here's a real person. A real Matthew Westbrook commented, it's pretty obvious he knows something that the rest of us are not privy to. To which I replied, maybe, or maybe BB knows something about him that the rest of us are not privy to. Maybe. In other words, it's just fun to speculate. Now, here's the thing, Harry. Here's the thing. I thought we got 3 comments on one video that didn't even have that many views, by the way. But we got 3 comments on one video. And I was like, oh my God. The first one is obviously AI. The second one, I could go either way. And the third one, definitely a human being. Now, let me tell you what happened. The first one, when I commented back, the one that I thought was obviously AI, I commented back, and that's in 3 seconds. The comment back was, I'm sick of you. In 3 seconds. I was like, oh, that's AI.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, of course. Now, the second one, I commented back, and I got nothing. And the third one, this says, it's pretty obvious he knows something that the rest of us are not privy to. And I commented back, maybe. Or maybe BB knows something about him that the rest of us are not privy to. I got a like on my comment within 2 hours.
Okay, possibly.
So I was like, that's a human being.
Possibly, yeah.
Let's watch. Let's check it out. Shall we? Shall we?
Let's see if he's got a real flesh and blood person on there.
Let's see. All right, so the first one, David Ross, has 60 friends and has 3 posts. That is not a real human being. Now, the second one, and this is the gentleman that said they can print free money. Beware, it's all staged by the satanic Nephilim fallen angels, a satanic fake Jesus. You're adorable. Congratulations. What a wonderful AI you are. Obviously not a real person. Now, the second one, Farachi Kimberly. Hey, Kimberly. How you doing? Jesus is the only way that thinks that we should be spending a $1.5 trillion a year on our military budget. Let's take a look at her profile, Harry. Let's take a look. Oh, that's nice. We got a nice lineup of human beings. There's a bunch of bipedal monkeys.
It looks like a fat farm.
Standing next to each other for a photograph. That's great. And then we have posts. First one, Jesus is the only way. That's when she changed her profile picture. And then after that is the picture of her standing next to all the other bipedal hairless half monkeys wearing clothes. And that's it. Oh my God, Harry. So I thought there was like a 50-50 shot that was a human being. But it's not. It's not. Let's take a look at the third one, shall we? Now, the third one, this I thought was definitely a human being. Matthew Westbrook. And he said, it's pretty obvious he knows something that the rest of us are not privy to. And I responded, maybe. Or maybe BB knows something about him that the rest of us are not privy to. And then 2 hours later, I got a thumbs up on my comment. I was like, oh, that's definitely a human being. You can tell. Let's take a look at this motherfucker. Matthew Westbrook. 50 friends. No posts available. It's all garbage.
It's all AI?
It's all AI.
Oh, wake up. Where's the human beings?
Dude. It's all AI.
Geez.
I know.
It's unbelievable. There are no human beings out here.
Now, I'm happy to reply to comments. That's an important thing that you have to do to market. It shows the algorithm that you're engaging in your audience, and I'm happy to do it. Not so happy to do it when all of my engagement is obviously AI. Not so happy to do it. It's a waste of my fucking time. I'm talking to a computer. Now, is a computer going to watch our show and get joy out of it?
I don't
No.
think so.
Well, why would a computer watch our show? Because they can't get joy out of it. There's no way a computer can experience joy. What I want to do is create a show where people experience joy, or anger, and emotion.
Something.
Just have a feeling. I mean, for Christ's sake, just have a fucking feeling, right?
Yeah.
But a computer ain't gonna do that.
It don't have a soul or a heart.
Doesn't have a heart.
Doesn't have a heart.
Doesn't have a heart. And so I just spent the morning replying to AI. How does that sit with you?
Well, I don't know how they're going to respond.
Well,
But
one already did.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of you. I don't care. You're not a person. You're a fucking demon. Remember I told you the difference between AI and demons, and I was like, there's none. There's none.
There ain't even a fine line between them.
I mean, it's like AI and demons and egregors. Like, what's the difference? Let's define the difference between AI and egregors. Or demons and egregors. Let's start there. So a demon is something that's supposed to have pre-existed you. An egregor is something that you created as a thought form. Go look up Theosophy and go read some books by William Walker Atkinson. And if you want to comment, make sure that you do your research first, because I've read it, all of them. So don't comment at me until you have as well. Otherwise, we're not having a conversation. So go read all the books by William Walker Atkinson. That'll take me 2 months. Fine. What else you gonna do? You doom scroll every morning. Fucking read some books, asshole. Any case. So, the difference between egregors and demons. Demons are supposedly beings that do not necessitate your attention. They pre-existed you and they will outlast you in your current thought form, which is all you are. And then egregors are thought forms that we actively create, and they're short-lived. It's like, the world sucks, and that becomes a thought form, and it goes and it sponges off of other human beings' energy as long as it can for its own existence. It's a thought. And William Walker Atkinson was very famous in the School of Theosophy for coining the phrase, thoughts are things. And he's 80% right in saying that. And we'll get to why he's 20% wrong at the end of the podcast. But he's mostly right. And all of you assholes that think that when you have these fucking AI talking at you, that and you get your emotions all up in a bunch, it's a program. You are programmed. That's not a person. Now, why should it matter less? If it's not a person, the Hat Man, the AI disagrees with me. Well, here's why. Well, it doesn't have an intelligence. It doesn't have a soul. Yeah, but here's why it shouldn't matter. It's programmed to disagree with you. It's programmed to make you angry. It's programmed to make you comment back. That's what it's supposed to do. Now, when you're on a dating site, like we did a one about you, where you were on dating sites, and I was like, dude, all those chicks you're talking to are AI. It's a demon. It's an AI. It's an egregor. However you want to define it. I mean, I already showed you what the difference is. Now, they're all AI. They are taking your money. That's it. Okay, so relax. Chill out for a second. Let's have a drink. That's good. And I am here right now in this time and space. Awesome. The machines you are talking to do not exist. What I just did to have a moment of mindfulness that I am in time and space, that I can exist in a body in time and space, that I am here in this moment without planning for the next or thinking about the last one I did. They can't do that. They're not conscious. They don't have a soul. And all of you incels that think for one fucking moment, maybe she really loves me? No, they can't do that. I'll tell you how I know. There's one very specific reason why I know the AI is not conscious. And neither are demons or egregors. It's because you need a body to be conscious. You can't have a brain in a jar. I mean, look up the thought experiment on YouTube. I have. I think it's very interesting. You can't have a brain in a jar. You have to have input in order to have experience. And experience is what creates consciousness. So without experience, through input, you can't have or develop consciousness. You just can't. It's impossible. Evolution is not top down. It is bottom up. We all rose from the mud, and to the mud we shall return. We didn't come from God, and to God we shall return. That's ridiculous. We all rose from the mud, and to the mud we shall return. And the lucky few of us, the ones that actually make an ego, maybe we'll get out of here. But not you. Not them, the AI that I'm talking to, and not the AI that you're trying to date. They're not us. That's the difference. Stop thinking that they might be us. You are seriously miscalculating, and you are seriously undervaluing yourself. I mean, Harry, you can speak to when you were talking to AI dating bots on a few websites. They seem like real fucking people.
Yeah, until I caught on to their program, and then I tried to recognize the same phrases, the same method, and I said they're all bullshit. No human beings. Still haven't.
Now, why does it matter to you so much if they're human or not? See, here's the question that a lot of nihilists, frankly, anybody who puts this question to me, you're a nihilist. Any person that puts this question to me, mostly nihilists, are going to say, well, who cares? Who cares? I'm having a good time.
I don't get no entertainment talking to a machine. I'd rather get some reaction out of a person, good, bad, or indifferent. I want to poke somebody, and I want to get some kind of reaction out of them. If you love me, hate me, or you don't care about me, it doesn't matter. I want to get a reaction.
Okay.
I want if I go prick you with a pin, I want you to say ouch. But like I said, I don't get no entertainment talking to a machine.
That's all it is.
And some people look like they're machines because they just follow their program, and if anything upsets them, something that they can't program, they get a little upset, or they take time to give you an answer. It's a script. They follow a script.
And now
I don't want no script.
And now
I gotta try to figure out if they're human or not. And like I said, most people I see, I wouldn't even classify them as human beings. They're just programmed little robots running around this world.
And now we get to the point.
Yeah.
So here's the point of the podcast. Here was the question that I wanted to discuss. And I'm not going to be full of bravado. I really won't. I do want to hear your side of this argument. So I'm not going to be full of bravado. I'm not going to talk over you. I really don't understand. So let me tell you a story. So this is your table set up in Milford.
Yep.
And you went out to explain to people why paying income taxes is illegal. And now, hey, listen, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I think it probably is. I think you're probably right for one very basic reason. I saw the check.
Right.
The IRS refunded you your entire year's worth of federal income taxes. So, I mean, it seems like you won to me.
Yeah.
But I wasn't here when you did it. I was 22 years old. I was starting a business. I wasn't here when you did it. But when I arrived here, you showed it to me, and I was like, I've always heard about this conspiracy theory. And now I've met somebody that says that they won, and he has proof. Interesting. Now, here's what I want to get to for the remainder of the podcast. Here's what I don't understand. It's basically this. Let me tell you a story. I got to I've been a sorcerer since I was 16. I started studying magic. Most people would say magic doesn't exist. That makes sense because they haven't experienced it in their own lives. But at 16, I started studying magic, and I thought that maybe it had some power, and then I found out that it did. And then a decade later, after I had been using it successfully, I thought that maybe I had found a way to prove it to other people. To say, hey, here's absolute evidence that magic is real and you can do it. I'll teach you how. It's not hard. Magic is real. Absolutely. I'll show you. I'll prove it to you. And I'll teach you how to do it. And it could change everybody else's lives. And in changing everybody's life, it could change the whole world. Now, I tried to do that. Everybody else said no. You're wrong. You're psychotic. Maybe you have a brain tumor. My best friend said that to me. Maybe you have a brain tumor. And then I found out later, actually, I can't prove it. and the reasons why are largely disclosed in the works by Dean Radin. Go read his books. They're wonderful. Why psi phenomenon is not objectively provable. It's because in the scientific method, you have to have something that's falsifiable, but if you have something that's falsifiable that you can prove, you have to do it at least twice. It has to be repeatable. And there's a very specific reason why anything in the psi phenomenon is not repeatable. Very interesting. But I think that you kind of expected me to go with you to your thing in Milford. And the only reason why I didn't is because I have a very strict rule. The rule for me is I'm definitely going to support my friends. And I stop by a couple of times to check on you and help you set up. But I'm not going to do that. And the reason is because I don't want, need, or care about if anybody else agrees with my perception of reality. I don't care. I cannot care. And there's a reason why. But you do care. So let's talk about that. You really do care. You really feel like if people saw the world more through your filter than through the filter that they've previously been looking at it through, they would be happier. They would have more money. They would understand what the government is doing to them. I do not want to wake anybody up. It's not within my purview to do, but you do. This is very important to you.
Unfortunately, I think I'm still in the foxhole, still in the battle, and I haven't left the battlefield yet.
Well, that's fine. That's a wonderful thing.
That's me.
That's a wonderful thing. Frankly, I think that somebody waking up every day in the foxhole, I think that's what's keeping you alive. I think it's a great thing.
I may be conditioned to that.
However, why do you care so much what other people think of your ideas? No, because I do not.
I may be trapped still in the battle. That may be the thing. Maybe that's the only thing I know at this point. I know I shouldn't care about what other people think because I know what other people think, and I'm not going to waste my time on them.
Now, you won. You beat the IRS.
Right.
You took the government to court and you won.
Yeah.
You won. Let me say that 3 more times.
Yeah, no.
I want to say it at least 3 more times. So you took the government to court and you won. Let me say it a second time. You took the government to court and you won. And let me say it a third time. You took the government to court and you won.
Yeah.
And now you want to convince everybody else that it happened.
Well, I may be stuck in a time warp or in this position because am I looking for something else out of life? No. I'm very content in where I am. I am not going to change anybody's mind, but I'm going to show you what I know, and you're going to have to make a choice in your life what you want.
Why is it so important to you to confront other people with the knowledge that you have gained?
I'm still stuck. I would say I'm stuck at a period in my life. That's the important thing in my life. That's it. All right, I'm not looking for anybody else. I don't want to live like anybody else. I don't want anything from them. I don't want to take anything from you. I'm not taking anything from.
You're not selling anything.
Well, no, I am not want to play a part of somebody else that I'm not. This is me. You are you, and if we make an agreement, well, we just listen to each other and say, okay, that's right for his life, but that's not right for me.
Okay.
Like your magic, your position, most people will not listen to you because they think you're a little off bonkers off the wall.
Well, most people would think that I'm absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And they're correct, but it doesn't mean that I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong, but you're insane. I think they're insane because they stop thinking. They stop thinking about possibilities of life. They've been programmed, and they're too comfortable in that position. They're afraid to get out and experience life.
It doesn't make sense to me to worry so much, because I did it, to worry so much what other people think of your discoveries. So I had a discovery that, hey, you can get out of your body. It's pretty easy. And then I had a discovery, hey, you can dream share with other people. You can get out of your body and dream share with other people, and you can both come back to your body with the same memory. And that was pretty remarkable. And then I had the discovery that maybe that's the objective evidence that I need, the remarkable evidence that I need in order to convince people that I've been right all along, that my perception of reality is actually, if not the correct perception, certainly more right than their perception. But you can't have it. They don't want it.
Right.
So it's like trying to give a gift to people that don't want the gift. Why is it so important to you where you're going to set up a table in Milford? And maybe you did some good. I hope you did. It seems like you did.
Or maybe make a conflict. Maybe someone would conflict with me, which I would love to have.
But you didn't. And so why is it so important to you to convince people that your view of the world is more right than their current view of the world? Because frankly, for me, I mean, I went through a process where I really did give a shit, where I thought I could do a lot of good if people just saw the world through my lens. The world would be a better place, but it's not the way the world works. The world is not an objective thing. The way the world works, it's not a thing. There is no world without consciousness. So the world that you want to change is inside of everybody else's head. That's the world. And the world that we all experience on a day-to-day basis as a serial cartoon is the democratic amalgamation of billions of people's points of view on a daily basis. That's what creates reality. So I understand why you want to change it. I just don't understand why it's so important to you. I really don't.
Maybe that's the only thing I got. Maybe that's the only thing I've proven to myself. And that's my view of the world. And I am not going to follow anybody else to their world view, because I see flaws in it, and I choose not to. It's a choice you make. You stand for something or you fall for everything. And I'm sick and tired of falling for all the lies that were told to me when I was younger. So I seek the truth. I found my truth, which is my truth, and I'm going to hang on to it because that's what I got.
But why is it so important to you that other people agree?
I think it's a trap.
Why is it so important to you that other people agree with your perspective?
I'm trying to free some people, try to open up their minds.
Why?
Because that's the way it is.
Why?
Why do people try to push religion on people? They're selling
for
something.
Control.
For control. I don't want to control anybody, but I want to give them a choice. I want to see why they're being controlled. This is controlling you. You don't see it. I see it. I've been there. Now it's your choice. You want to stay controlled, or do you want to be free of yourself? Freeing somebody is the hardest thing in the world. The hardest thing in the world, someone to admit that I was wrong. I was told a story, a lie, and I believed it for like 20 years of my life, and all of a sudden, boom, I find out it's a great big lie. So now you got your choice: walk away from the lie or stay in the tribal mentality. I don't want to be part of that tribe. I am going to be me, and that's it, and whatever comes my way will be.
But why is it so important to you that other people agree with you?
I have no idea. I may be stuck with the idea because that's the only thing that's left as far as being me.
In other words, you won.
Yeah.
You won. So why is it important to you that other people acclimate to the position that you won? Does that make it more real? Does that make it a better prospect? Does that make it more fulfilling to you?
Well, maybe I just totally disregard what the world's saying, and I want to show them the possibility that they could free themselves. If you don't want to be free, that's fine by me. Keep your chains. I don't want your chains.
Well, let's say they don't.
They don't? Fine.
Let's say they don't.
Look, go live on the way you want, and I'm not responsible for what you do with your life. I am responsible for what I did with my life.
And you won.
Yeah. But the winning the battle is not the most important thing. The most important thing is I have to show people that, yeah, it's a possibility that you can free yourself. Most people don't want to be free.
Why is it important for you to show people that they can do that?
I can't answer that. That's all I know. Like I said, I may
like it's so important to you that you got a permit and you sat outside the post office
what should I do
for
next?
6 hours.
Should I join the rest of the crowd and abandon what I did? No, I won't do that. I will not step back. Like Patton said, we are not going to buy this ground the second time. So I'm just going to stay where I am, and whatever comes my way, so be it. But people, if they want to stay in their traps, go right ahead. Not me. You got your things, your beliefs, your way you want to live.
Yeah, but I don't care if other people see the world the way that I do. And you apparently do.
Well, if that's the way it looks. But I got to maintain what I have. You don't care what people think because you got your world.
Well, they generally suck, Harry.
Yeah.
They're terrible things. The people of this world are terrible creatures.
Well, like I said, I put the challenge out there, and nobody shows up and challenges me. So therefore, leave me alone. I'm happy in my world.
Yeah, but you keep saying leave me alone, but you won't leave anybody else alone.
Well, no, the thing is, I just put it out there and I try to get some response from other people. But you know what? It took me a long time to decide to do this. You know what? Am I trying to save people? No. I'm just giving them a choice. I'm showing them what I am. What you see is what you get. What Flip Wilson said back in the 80s. He was a comedian. But like I said, they're not going to say, well, he was a flip-flop. He wasn't a waffle. He didn't change his mind. He is what he is. And that's it. You got to be prepared to stand your ground.
I think that for you, all I'm going to say is winning with grace is just as much of a thing as losing with grace. Losing with grace is where you lose and you learn from the experience. Winning with grace would therefore be, hey man, you won. Let it go. But you can't.
No.
You're stuck in the battle.
Yeah, I'm stuck. I agree.
Why?
Maybe I don't want to let go.
But you won.
Yeah, that's true. So what's my next challenge? It hasn't come my way yet.
But you won.
Absolutely. But the thing is, what did I win? Did I win my freedom? Or maybe did I get a new sense of responsibility? Everything comes...
Who are you responsible to?
I'm responsible for myself.
That's it.
But you don't want me to join the rest of the world and the hypocrisy?
No, I don't think that you should, frankly.
So I stand my ground, and this is where I stay. We do what we got to do, and we stay where we are. We're comfortable. I am not comfortable with the world, because I know there are a bunch of flip-flops, and they just keep changing to finding who's spending their... Who's feeding me today? Okay, I'll fight for you today. Oh, next week will be next guy. Okay, who else footing my bill? I am not for sale. I will not sell myself to another person for their ideas. I will not give up my ideals, and I will just leave it like that.
I think you have a lot of love for people that, frankly, I do not have. I don't. I'm generally a misanthrope. I am not a lover of humanity, and you just can't be happy with your victory. You need other people to see it, and also you need other people. You need it to be a vehicle for other people's heroic journey.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm looking for a revolution. That may be.
Maybe.
Well, maybe I'm getting a little bit of a radical, and I want the revolution to start.
Maybe.
That could be the answer. Let's start a revolution, just for the hell of it, and see what comes out of it.
Let's start a revolution just for the hell of it. Soapbox.
Yeah, you can't kill an idea.
All right.
And if you get a good idea and it works for you, get in line and show it, and don't cross the line, and don't give it up. That's it.
Fair enough. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, once again for watching the New World Order broadcast. And just remember, we're watching you too.
Is watching. are strangers.